Okay, so we talk about how to quash, destroy, or cleanse yourself of narcissistic tendencies. I was a former narcissistic personality where if I loved someone and I rang them, if I didn't hear anything, if I didn't hear what I wanted to hear, like for example, I had one woman. If I tell her that I love her and she doesn't reply with the same sentiment, I'll ring her again and again and again until I hear it. But then if I ring her and then I hear noise in the background and I ask her what it is, I'll ring her again and again and again until she tells me. So I used to be like somebody who, and it was out of love basically. So narcissistic personalities are the only ones who actually love you. Yeah. Now when I got rid of love and I replaced it with giving, yeah, that's when I stopped behaving like that towards women, where I don't actually love, I give. Yeah. Now if you're a woman, if you want love, only a narcissistic personality can love you. Somebody who wants to own you, yeah, is the only one that can love you. Somebody who wants to give to you doesn't love you. I don't love. Yeah. So you find that I don't indulge in rape like situations or scenarios because I don't love, I don't want to own, I don't the best way I find the best way I found that helped me basically get rid of my narcissistic personality was to accept losing out, accept rejection. Yeah. When you ask a woman for example for her phone number and she says no, don't ask anything else of her, just move on to another woman. There's 3.6 billion women out there. I'm sure you're going to find another one. Just thinking pragmatically, well, that's just one rejection, and move on. Agreeing to lose out and embracing rejection and not seeing it as something that's going to break me. That's how I beat my narcissistic personality. So the other day I was on a dating line, online dating site, and I asked the woman, listen, I would like to get to know you intimately. Is that okay? Yeah. She stopped talking to me and she hasn't answered me. Now, what I noticed, which reminded me from her behavior, is some women do not want to or expect to be asked for consent. Yeah. They're so used to narcissistic personalities and they're so used to being raped that it's odd if somebody asks them for consent. They're not used to being asked for consent. And yet what does consent look like? If we look at what it is and what it's supposed to look like, yeah, communicating when you change the type or degree of sexual activity with phrases like, is it okay? Yeah, to ask her, is it okay? And then she sasses that you want to increase the sexual activity, the degree of sexual activity, and she acts like it's inappropriate. It's inappropriate for you to ask a woman. Those women, you must agree to lose out. You must agree to lose out on those, because they're the same ones who turn around and say, well, I never gave consent, so you must have raped me. And then they'll ask you to prove where you asked them for consent. They're acting like it's inappropriate to be asked, but when they accuse you of rape, they'll ask you to prove when you asked. So if you don't feel comfortable in asking a woman for consent, leave her be. That's not for you. Don't pursue that one. Yeah. Explicitly agreeing to certain activities by saying yes. If you ask her, can we kiss? Can we do this? And she says, you need to ask yes all the time. Yeah. I don't like to use physical cues because that would be in someone's intimacies. Now, I will ask a woman for consent from the time I meet her to the time when I'm inside of her. We're going to have sex, right? Is that okay? Is that okay? Is that okay? Is that okay? Until the time I'm inside, because she has a right to change her mind. Yeah, because she has a right to change her mind. You're gonna have to ask her for her consent. Yeah. Just if you feel like she's gonna change her mind, or if you feel like, hang on a minute, she's got this dumb look in her eye, like she doesn't remember saying yes, you reaffirm the decision and you ask her. As soon as you hear a no, you let go. Now, when you hear a no, learn to lose out. Yeah, is that okay? No. So I've asked this woman, is it okay if we step it up a notch and become physical? She's refused to reply to me. Do not pressure someone into sexual activity by using fear or intimidation. As asked her once, until I hear a reply from her, I'm not going to talk to her. If that's forever, then forever I will never talk to that woman ever again. That's how I managed to neutralize, defeat, and reverse my narcissistic personality to the point where I don't have a narcissistic personality anymore. I accept losing out. I accept no. Yeah, and it doesn't bother me. It's something that I embrace, and I'm actually comfortable with it because now, the way I see it, I dodged a bullet there. I've managed to avoid someone who will act like they're interested, but as soon as you touch her, she cries rape. Yeah, to me, by asking for consent, I get to identify those who are playing those games. There's women out there who don't understand being asked for consent. Yeah, they're used to the rape culture and they promote that. Yeah, that's why they'll tell you it's inappropriate to be asked. But if you're not gonna ask her, how are you gonna get consent if you're not gonna ask her? A woman who believes it's inappropriate to be asked, that's the woman that encourages narcissistic personalities. Yeah, there's a whole society of women who actually breed their sons and encourage them to be narcissistic, to own other women. It's an ancient, it goes beyond the Bible. It's probably started when we were still evolving from James. It's that ancient. But they're the same ones that would encourage pedophilia. They have their funny different things that they do, but that's why they always groom women to believe that it's not appropriate to be asked for consent. But nowadays, with the rise of these other sexual deviations, once somebody tells you, you see, heterosexuals do not respect you. Yeah, they don't even ask you for consent. It's like you don't exist. Yeah, and it's true. Yeah, so you go off with whatever deviation you're with, and heterosexuals were losing out because of that. Yeah, so for us to regain our status as the ones who bring in the future, because we're the only ones who really bring in the future. If you're not gonna bring in children, you're not part of the future. So we need to stop raping our women and start asking them for consent. And we need to start from day one. When they're young, stop making them feel like being asked for sex is inappropriate. Yeah? How are they going to give consent if they're not asked? Yeah? They need to encourage men to ask them. Not encourage them, but they need to understand that asking is part of the heterosexual way, and it's the way that we're going to have to propagate through to the future. If I'm to respect you, I need to ask you for your permission before coming into your intimate space. If it's inappropriate to ask you for permission, it will never be appropriate for me to indulge in sexual activity with you. And if it's never appropriate for heterosexuals to have sex, there is no children being born, there is no future, we become extinct. Yeah? So I need to educate women who act like it's inappropriate to be asked. Please stop with that. Yeah? All of you are deviating from the true path, and we need to start a new way of behaving as heterosexuals, where we respect each other. Men respect women and women respect men. Stop with this narcissistic thing. It's not helping, man. Especially in today's climate, it's not helping at all.